throughout this season about, the process of growing and becoming the team you are.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, was there something that showed itself early with this group that is still there and that you didn't have to sort of discover as you guys went on, a strength maybe even?
Well, I think the fifth set against Vanderbilt in our first match was important. Again, just in front of a big crowd and with pressure, being able to respond and be tough under stress. I thought that was good. And then I think our second match against Penn State, right away, we had fifth setter against Penn State in the second match and at Wisconsin and then Creighton, so three of the top teams at the time. I think what it did, it just showed these guys like we can play at this level, because again, I think for most of the team, it's new experience and you don't know what you don't know. And so getting into it and just saying like, hey, okay, we can do this. So I think that got everybody's attention and, the team has goals to win the conference and then to host and then to make it beyond what they've made, which would be getting to the third round. And so those are words until you actually get out there and go play somebody that can really punch you. And so again, just to see our response, I think that was a good turning point for us. And again, it just made my job easier because they were more willing to listen. Yeah.
Were you stressing at all yesterday?
Was I stressing?
Yeah, when you hosting
I think the stressful part would be like if you're not sure if you're going to make the tournament. The team would like to be here. We'd like to be here. I'm happy we're here. But I thought no matter what, we'd get what we deserve. So we've had lots of chances to better our resume. We've had chances to worsen our resume. And so we are who we are, and this is what it's gotten us to. And if that meant we were on the road, then I'd be thrilled for that opportunity. But I'm really happy we're here. So.
How did the players, you two, feel about being at home for the first match and hopefully the second?
I'm super excited. This is my first NCAA tournament ever. So I was super stoked about it. And then yesterday he was like, okay, like we're probably going to be like, we might end up being in this bracket or this one, like depending on like if we were to host or be a 5 seed after that. So I was super excited. Like all the photos showed it too. Like I was like cheering in Reese's face like right after it happened. But again, I feel like our long road at the beginning, like it's really fun for us to be at home in this first and second round, just because we did spend so much time away that to have the opportunity to be at home for 1 or 2 more matches is really huge for us.
Yeah, I'm grateful to just continue to show Kansas what we can do here in Horejsi, and I'm grateful that they will be able to experience playoffs here, and it's just going to be another fun round.
Reese, what does it feel like? You felt this last year, hosting, getting 2 matches.
Yeah.
Does it feel the same going into this, or does this feel completely different?
I feel like it's the same but completely different, knowing it's a new coaching staff, knowing there's a different group of girls, so it's like the same excitement, the same joy, but now it's like different group, there's a different kind of sense of just feel to it, knowing that we're a different team. I think we're ready to go. We're ready for it.
Well, you're so experienced now too. Sophomore.
But yeah, I'm super
You've done
excited.
it.
The crowd is even more crazy than they usually are. And I remember last year hearing that I think the game sold out in like 15 minutes last year, like tickets sold out. So it's fun that people want to go and people want to watch, and that's just more fun for us to play with.
Reese, do you think about that Florida match at all last year, and how can you use that feeling to motivate yourself?
Yeah, I definitely think about kind of how I felt, emotionally, and how can I try to this year handle my emotions maybe a little bit better and kind of try to help rally the team around like, okay, hey, let's just play point for point and not worry about what's going to happen after. Let's just worry about what's going on right now.
Matt, you've got no shortage of experience making deep runs. Is there anything that's sort of common throughout those teams and different years that shows up with your teams at this time of year that kind of says, hey, this is why we made a deep run, or this is what you have to make a deep run? Is there anything like that? And if so, does this team have it?
Well, thanks for noticing. I think the biggest thing is you're going to get everybody's best shot, and so you have to be, your competitiveness level, it's got to be elite. You have to be fearless. You have to go back there and you can serve with real pressure because you're going to play some of the best offensive players in the country, which, we will definitely have in the 4 teams that we have here. But there's just a toughness that comes with teams that can win in December. And no, I didn't know if we had it until Baylor. I think after TCU, when, we played horribly and they were just beating us up, we responded against a very good Baylor team at their place. It was tough, and we found a way to win in 5. And we've had moments like that, like at K-State when we were down 22-something. We've had moments where we've really shown some legit grit and toughness. And I don't think this team had this group of Kansas Jayhawks had that for a while. So I think that's what you're going to have. And again, I thought we showed it well in our last match against UCF and at Iowa State. So I think we're trending in the right direction. That's what it's going to take. You can't be fearful. You can't just wish things are going to happen. You have to go out there and dictate your actions and dictate the results. And I think they're in a good place to do that.
Ryan, it's your first one, but that sounds like you.
Yeah.
How much fun is it for you to know that first time doing it, last chance to do it, and you get to play like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked about it. I think going back to the question that you asked him earlier about like something that we've had this whole time, I think it's a fight in us. Like we always talk about how like our effort isn't something that varies. Maybe it's the skill of the game, like we need to be better at certain aspects of it, but the effort I think is something that hasn't varied throughout the season. So I like to bring that into my game. That's something that I kind of lean on, is like trying to give effort no matter what is going on. But I'm just so excited. Like it's such a great opportunity, and then to combo everything of like we've worked so hard. We've had a very, very strong like strength of schedule. Like the teams that we've played in preparation for this are really, really good. And then to also bring in three good teams for our like hosting, like it's just so exciting. Like to think about it, and I just love playing volleyball too. So to have an extra week of practice, like to get in there and work for 2 hours today, and just have a good body of work and add all those things, and it's just super fun. Like again, no opportunity in the past 3 years to kind of move on and have extra volleyball. So I'm just stoked to be in the gym an extra week, and hopefully we can just keep it going.
For both of you guys, Reese and Ryan, when in the rare case where that fear maybe does enter the huddle or a match, who do you guys look to out there to spat it away or bring it back to where you guys need?
Yeah.
Is there one person or is it multiple people?
I think we have quite a few. Like, it's honestly something where, like, anytime a timeout happens, Ellie Schneider is the first one to be speaking. She's a really great, like, off-the-bench presence, and, like, she always knows, like, you know, she's coming in, she's saying the first thing. But I think in the middle of it, something that we've been talking about a lot is our informational communication. So we've taken our emotions out of it. Like, when things, maybe not feeling the fearfulness, but, like, when things aren't going our way, how can we come into the middle and, like, make that more impactful? So some teams, I think, you know, like you'll see them come out and leave quickly. Like, how can we take an extra second in there, make some extra eye contact, and then on top of that, like, we're talking more game plan, right? So then when we get out there, Reese knows exactly what she's doing here, and if she's taking this on the block, I know exactly where I'm being. So taking it more of that informational side, like, objectively, instead of trying to get our emotions into it. Like, of course, like, there's always ups and downs in volleyball, but, you know, there was multiple examples against UCF and Iowa State where we were down, like, 5 or 6 points in a set, and we just continued to work at it and come back. And I think adding the game plan, like talking into that, but also just taking more time in the middle and like really using that as like, okay, what are we going to do on this next play? I think that helps us a lot.
Yeah, and I would agree. It's definitely being more informational than emotional. And a lot of times, sometimes it can even just be like, if you hit a ball out of bounds, setter connection maybe not there, I'll just like grab my setter's hand and be like, hey, next ball, let's get the next one. I think it's a lot more of just like you want them to know that they trust you, and like really focusing with your eyes, focusing your body language, like, hey, I got you, you got me, let's just go get the next one. I think that's another big thing, that when we take those long huddles, like really looking at everyone and being like, let's get the next one, let's continue to be informational, but let's really like bring it in and trust each other.
Is that informational thing a coaching thing, or was this a player developed strategy?
It's something that obviously we talk about a lot. Like, we don't want to be playing with a ton of emotions. Like, obviously you want to celebrate big and do things at the end, but objectively you want to be doing like all the statistical pieces correctly and not thinking too much about like, oh, I just made a really bad play, or oh, I just made a really good play. Like, okay, I made that play. What am I doing next about it? But I think it's something that we've talked about a lot in the last few weeks. Like, that Utah BYU trip for us, like, it came a lot of that is like, we're going into this, you know, third season essentially, like the postseason, and how can we bring in all of that? Plus, I think we just know that we play better with it. Like, when we can really settle in, lean on every single person, everyone's talking. Like, when I see it, like, I'm sitting in left back and I get to hear my middle back, like, Grace is coming up and she's like, okay, I'm going to shift here on this ball and do this, this, and this. Or, you know, I'm hearing Reese talk about what's going on the other side. Like, that's when you can kind of tell we're in our flow state, because you're not thinking about, oh, I did X, Y, and Z wrong. And so it's more of just, like, you're all locked in, like, what's the target, what's the next goal. But I would say it's a mix of both. He always encourages it, but I think when we have our moments that aren't our best, that's the first thing to come up that we talk about is, you know, where was our informational communication? Did we get quiet, or did we continue to push and like have the talk that we need to have?
How much time do you spend thinking about Tulsa or Miami ahead of this match on Thursday? Because obviously you have to beat High Point first, but you don't have a
Yeah, I mean, the next 2 days we'll really focus on High Point. I asked the group, I said, okay, the last 2 years since we didn't make it out, to the Sweet 16 the last 2 years, what have we done in the past? And they said we focused on the first round up until we know who we're playing in the second round. So I flipped it. So today we worked on who we could possibly play in the second round. And then the next 2 days we'll work on High Point. So just putting some nuggets in there so they can see. So again, when they're working this week, they know what all the options could look like over the time. But again, their goals are not just to get to the second round. Their goals to get beyond that. So I think you need to push them to be able to do that.
Matt, I was trying to think back to your introductory press conference and sort of your welcome to Kansas moment and what you said you envisioned for the future of this program and your leadership and all that. Does that informational thing, does that fit as one of your core values as a coach? Has that always been a part of what you preach and teach?
No, this is a proud coach moment to hear all the things I had to say,
Yeah.
for sure, because that's not what we were like at all to start. So, especially this one. So she's gonna be a good coach. I mean, that's what she wants to be. I was just listening to your TED talk. That was nice. It was good. Yeah, I mean, for us again, yeah, you want to play with passion, but you don't want your emotions to rule you. And again, I think that's when it comes back down to one play at a time. Can you separate all those feelings from just what's your job that you need to do to make us get better? And that way you don't ride the roller coaster as much. And as you can see in the beginning of the year, we had a lot of roller coaster matches with all the 5-setters. So I think it's something that we've really been working on. I feel like I've harped more on mindset than anything else with this group. I think that's been our biggest opportunity for growth is how we handle situations individually and then as a team. So again, to see some of the things that we did, to come back from a really poor week in Utah and then play at Iowa State, hadn't lost a home match, to go in that environment when they had a nice crowd and handle it the way we did, those are really nice check marks for me with what the group is doing. So it's nice to know that all my yelling hasn't gone unnoticed or unappreciated, So, no, I think they're handling it better. And again, when this moment comes, there's going to be some stressful times this weekend in our own gym. And, what are they going to do with it? So.
On the Utah trip, did you think that hurt you for hosting? I mean, was that a concern at all, or did you not let yourselves go there?
I mean, this whole time it's just been trying to get them better to be our best selves now. I mean, that's what it's been. And again, maybe our best match was the match before that trip was K-State. So that's why I love coaching, because who the heck knows, So you just keep teaching. I mean, that's all I can do, right? And then nothing else matters. So keep teaching, keep developing. It's going to take you where it takes you. I think if you have that mindset, then you can always be hopeful and just keep pushing forward. So, I mean, for sure it didn't help our resume, but again, I thought we had a lot of good things going for us. Our body of work overall was good, and those are 2 tournament teams. It's not like you just lost to slouches. We had 10 teams from the Big 12 in the tournament. I thought we might even get the 11th with Cincinnati, and so that ties a record for NCAA history. So it's that's our conference. So again, if you ride the waves of the ups and downs, then it's going to be a really long season. And I think overall we've done a good job of just keep pushing forward.
There's that philosophy of coaches that make practice so hard that the games are easier, fun even.
Yeah.
Can that be true of your conference schedule going into the postseason? 10 teams made it, you played 9 of them, obviously.
Yep.
Can that feel wow, this is actually easier than conference play if you want to maybe put it in those
Right. And so again, if you go back to our first talks about our non-conference schedule, and you guys were looking at me like I'm crazy, right? Because we did the 5. I remember in this room, all of you looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And I know you believed in me at the time, but is because you got to go out there and you got to push yourself. You got to go be really uncomfortable, and we got to see what we're made out of. And you're going to take some losses with that, but again, I think those are lessons that you have to learn. And again, what it did is it prepared us for conference, and now that's prepared us for the postseason. So again, I just think if you're looking at it because you're trying to legitimately be your best in December, then you handle your season and how you handle everything differently. If it's just about the here and now and in the moment and getting that win or just getting victories, I don't know. That's just not how I do things. So.
Last one for me, I think. Reese and Ryan, is that easy to do going into August, thinking about December, thinking about everything that matters is geared toward this moment? I mean, it seems like that could be a challenge for those of you that are in the heat of it all.
Yeah, I think we split it up well, a good balance in our minds of we are still taking it day by day. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. In this case, thinking about what, we're going to make it to the Final Four. You don't want to think that far. because you need to do your job today type of thing. But I think knowing that like all of the work that we were going to do and just keeping it objective in that sense, but like knowing, you know, that first day in August, like, okay, all of this stuff that we're going to do during season, that's going to prep us for the rest of our experience in December. So again, not thinking too far ahead of it, but using it as a fuel of like, where do we want to be, right? We want to be in Kansas City at the end of December. So how can we prep for that, but not get too far ahead of ourselves?
And I think it's a bit of knowing, like, are you getting that 1% better every day? Like, knowing that you are here in the now with practice and things like that. But then, like, tomorrow, can we build off of what we learned the day before and continue to work there? Because by the end, you'll know that from where you started to now, there's so much difference that's been made. And it's just, that's also a big part of where that growth comes and knowing that you're your best in December.